friends, welcome to Therapy Thursdays on Louisiana Living. We are physical therapy and balance centers. I am Angela Yarborough and this is Dr. Jerry Yarborough. And what are we doing here? Well, we are talking about different disease processes, and we are just talking about different ailments, different things that keep you from loving your life. That is one of our mottos, is love your life. And we just wanted to give back to the community and just give you some things that you can do for some things that might be preventing you from loving your life. So why don't you tell us exactly what we're going to be doing?
All right. First, like you said, I'm Dr. Jerry Yarborough, physical therapist, and my sweet wife, Angela. By trade, she's actually a nurse. So, together, I opened the Jonesboro clinic about 20 years ago. I actually have about 27 years experience as a therapist. And then 7 years ago, we opened up here in Ruston. And just about 3 weeks ago, we opened up in ElDorado, Arkansas now. So what we're doing, like she said, is we're talking about different diseases or impairments that are affecting your quality of life. And at Physical Therapy and Balance Centers, our desire is to help you love your life. So we're going to discuss those impairments. We're going to discuss how physical and occupational therapy can help you rehab from those impairments. And then we're going to always give you a takeaway of what you can start doing immediately to start making a change in your life and improving your quality of life. So again, come and see us every Thursday here on Louisiana Living. You can look us up on myarclemis.com or our personal Facebook page, physicalruston.com. Or you can even go to our Facebook page or even our YouTube channel. We have lots of videos and lots of education out there to help educate the community. Now, we want you to come back in the next two segments in which we'll start talking about certain ailments or impairments. And then, like I said, what physical and occupational therapy can help you overcome those impairments. And then again, we're always going to leave off with what you can do immediately to start helping improve your quality of life. So come back and see us and we'll get started. Thank you. Welcome to Therapy Thursdays here on Louisiana Living. I'm Dr. Jerry Yarborough, physical therapist and owner of Physical Therapy and Balance Centers. Now, if you've been with me long, you've heard my story of my vestibular problems and the lack of balance I had. So that's what we're talking about today is vestibular dizziness, issues that affect your balance and even your quality of life. And today we have a special guest, Teddy Durrett. We met each other about 8 years ago when you came to me for some help. So I would like for you to share with our audience just your story, okay? Kind of what happened to you.
Yeah, so it was about 8 years ago, like you said, and I'd had surgery a year prior from a car wreck that I was in, really bad car wreck, and hit the steering wheel, the airbag didn't come out, and it just seemed to trigger immediate symptoms in the way of off balance, dizziness, vertigo, and so went to several doctors over a span of from about 2002 to probably 2012, and just could not get really any definitive answer on what was going on, and really struggled. I was in school part-time through the first part of that, and was having full-blown vertigo episodes that were pretty rough. They would last about 12 hours. Just extreme, nausea and vomiting until you really just fell asleep or it went away. And so really struggled with that day to day, and saw just about every doctor you can imagine, from ENTs to neurologists to everybody in between. And nobody could give me a really direct answer on what the cause was. And it wasn't until I went to see a doctor in South Louisiana where they finally diagnosed it properly as a birth defect that I had in my inner ear. And it's only triggered by trauma to the head. And so I had a surgery to try to correct that, and it didn't work, unfortunately. And so for about a year after that, I struggled with daily symptoms of vertigo and dizziness and nausea. And really didn't know what to do. And just by chance, somebody recommended you.
Yeah.
And I went to see you about a year after the surgery. And I was just completely bedridden at that point and was not working. Right. And actually the doctor that I went to see previously that did the surgery even told me vestibular therapy was a waste of time. So I didn't even pursue it and didn't even research it.
Right.
But a family friend recommended you, and so we gave it a shot.
Yeah.
And I think in a matter of 3 months, you had me at work.
Yeah.
And I was working completely every day, all day. We were still battling some residual effects from all of that, but it was definitely a game changer for sure. And that was, I guess, 8 years.
Well, that's
later
awesome.
we're here.
Thank God someone did refer you to us.
Yeah.
And again, I specialize in that because of my own personal experience.
Yes.
And I know that vestibular therapy can help people.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Teddy about his experiences and how vestibular therapy helped him and how it can help you. Welcome back to Therapy Thursdays here on Louisiana Living. I'm Dr. Jerry Yarborough, physical therapist and owner of Physical Therapy and Balance Centers. Now today we're talking about vestibular rehab therapy and how it can help you if you have balance issues, vestibular issues, and dizziness, vertigo. Those are all topics that we've gone into deeper at other times. But today we have a special guest, a friend and a patient of mine, Teddy Durrett. And we met 8 years ago when Teddy came to me for some help, kind of as a last resort, right?
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And so I just wanted you to explain to our audience today what a day in your life looked like at that time.
Yeah, so it was basically wake up, eat, take medication, stay in bed, go to sleep, wake up, eat, and just repeat throughout the day. Basically, it was just a regimen of sleep, medicine, and eating. I mean, there was no activity whatsoever, outside of bed rest, and otherwise, I risked, triggering all of the symptoms of constant vertigo and dizziness and nausea and all of that. So, yeah.
So you had to move back in with your parents,
Yes,
right? You were a student at LSU.
I was,
right?
yes.
You had to quit dating. You had to quit doing anything, right? I mean, you were just
there was no really any social life to speak of. No dating. I really wasn't even hanging out with friends or seeing family that much. Like you said, I was at mom and dad's, lucky enough to have them. But it was just basically at their house. I was in Baton Rouge, had to move back home to here in North Louisiana and Ruston. So.
Right. I remember one thing that was really important to you is that you could get on the floor and play with your nephews.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, at that time, it was, they were all still very little.
Yeah.
And I was a very active uncle. I was extremely close with my brothers and extremely close with my nephews. And that was something that I really greatly missed after the surgery.
So, as you mentioned in the previous segment, after about 3 months of working together, what was your life like then?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to go to work every single day. Of course, it was baby steps getting there, as you remember. But every day I could do things that I noticed that I couldn't do the previous day.
Right.
Whether it was just take walks. In the beginning, it was simple as taking walks.
Right.
It was sitting up in a chair the whole day instead of in the bed. And then from there, I gradually got to the point to where I could be on my feet all day long. I could look at a computer screen, without getting dizzy and without getting nauseous. And I could go into the office at work and I could do, the very basic tasks you need to do to make a living and support myself. And it was all about getting back to being independent and being able to take care of myself.
Right.
So.
And I remember one thing that you really like to do is going to the movies.
Yes,
So you were able to go back to the movies?
Yes.
And of course, in Louisiana, LSU games. I remember the first one you got to go on.
Yeah, depth perception was a huge problem,
Yeah.
And just kind of, overloading my sensory input from crowd sizes and things like that.
Right.
In the movie theater, it's dark.
Right.
So, anybody that's dealt with balance issues knows, when you're in the dark, when your eyes are closed, it's just exponentially worse.
Right.
And so, being in a movie theater with the loud, the noise and everything, and having that huge screen in front of me. And that's, movies, as you know, and LSU
Right.
games, those are my two main hobbies outside of hunting and being outdoors. And so even riding on boats again, that was a big thing. My brother's got a lake
Went
house.
on a cruise, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, went on the
But even
cruise.
on the lake.
Yeah.
I remember all that. So we're kind of running out of time, but so what would you recommend to people at home who have been told, there's just nothing we can do for you?
Yeah, I would definitely say vestibular therapy is an integral part of any kind of treatment plan that you're going to have for balance issues, whether it's just simple, lack of coordination or dizziness, or like me, it was chronic vertigo and nausea. It just was an absolute game changer. So I would absolutely make that an integral part of your recovery and your treatment plan, in addition to any advice your doctor gives you. So, yeah.
Thank you for
Definitely
that.
game changer.
And guys, remember to get help from us. All you have to do is pick up the phone. You don't have to be referred by anybody. Now, we always work with your primary care providers. That's very integral in what we do. So give us a call at Fyzical Therapy and Balance Centers, and we look forward to helping you love your life.